Righty, let's have a draw and a natter. A draw and a chat. So I'm going to draw this Elie Saab look. A little bit cheetah print, a little bit leopard print, one of those. So I did this little sketch before pressing record. I was trying to figure out a composition. And I think we got there, so I'm going to do this one. So the topic today is 5 harsh truths for fashion illustrators. So buckle up, kids. We're getting harsh. Okay, so let's start with the pencil sketch. I need to try and speak and draw and entertain. Okay, so we got the sketch down. So harsh truth number 1. No one is commissioning a model walking on a white background on the runway. It's just not. Very, very rarely is that commissioned. You know, there are a few, don't get me wrong, like it does happen, but it's not common. So all these drawings that you're doing for, you know, a model on the runway, drawing the clothes that you see them, you know, just drawing them in the runway pose, basically just drawing what you see. There's not really a whole lot of work for it. So whilst it's good to do for like practicing and for personal work and things like that, it's not the things that are getting hired. So it's not the stuff that's going to be in your portfolio that will entice a client essentially. Yet it's 99% of what I see on Instagram. So I think it's time to change. Okay, that hand's awful. Harsh truth number 2. I feel like people are going to be angry. Don't be angry at me. Not me. Looks like she's grabbing her crotch. Like, geez, get a room, ma'am. I don't know what to do with that hand. Oh, and the reference is down here. Okay. Speaking of references, I say references, my sketch. So yeah, harsh truth number 2. I'm sorry, people, but stop mimicking a reference photo. If all you can do, I mean, don't get me wrong, nothing wrong using reference photos. I'm not one of those people that are like, real artists don't use it because that's it's a bullshit. But if all you can do is mimic a photo that you found on Pinterest and, you know, just basically redo it in your style, then you won't be able to work for a client, really. Because a client isn't going to hire a photographer, a makeup artist, a stylist, a studio, retoucher, and a model so you can get the reference photo to then be able to do the drawing that you want to do. Like, it's not going to happen. So you need to learn to combine reference photos together to create something unique, whether that's changing out the pose from one and an outfit from another, or combining, you know, 3 photos into one pose, or posing for your own photos, your own reference photos, whatever it may be. Because if you're gonna just go on Pinterest, find a picture and replicate it for a client, that is copyright infringement, and you'll get in trouble or the client will get in trouble. Plus, my own bone to pick with that is that I used to do photography, and that photographer is making the decision on the casting, the styling, like everything, the lighting, everything. So basically the finished photo is someone else's creative outlet and creative process from start to finish. So taking that photo and basically just redrawing it, it's just mimicking their work, and they've had all the fun designing it and stuff. So I just feel like, why not start piecing your own stuff together? You know, cast a model that you want to draw, you know, put an outfit together, put a background with a different reference photo, like, you know, sculpt things yourself so it's your own idea essentially. You're not just sort of photocopying something pretty that you've already seen. Don't know how to do her hair. It's down in the reference photo, but I feel like it's stronger if it was like up in a bun or something. Okay, time to ink it. We're gonna do 0.1. The reason I always say that and do that is because 0.05 or 0.1 is then when you ink the whole thing and then rub it out, it's not gonna smudge, or it's less likely to smudge because there's not a lot of ink on there. And the last thing you wanna do is ink this really nicely, go to rub it out, the face smudges. Or ink this, then go to color it, face smudges. We don't want that. I don't know where my pen is now. Ma'am, excuse me, ma'am. That'll do. Okay, so let's ink this. The drawing always looks like shit when I rub it out because it's like nothing there. Okay, we're gonna go halfway. I'm gonna put one part of the fringe down and put it in a bun. There we go. Okay, so let's add some color. Second time I've done cheetah print this week. I'm turning into Cat Slater. So Winsor & Newton sent me this yesterday. 96. So we got some beautiful markers to here. And I think this is the color I need. But how nice is that? Bam. Got this one. So harsh truth number 3 is Fashion Illustrations no longer sell the garment. So they're not, obviously they were starting out because photography didn't exist or it wasn't as widely accessible as it is now. So literally to be able to depict the product and to sell it is what Fashion Illustration was for. People would buy something based on the illustration because that was the product photo of the time. That is obviously no longer necessary, which means creating an illustration that's focusing completely on the garment, like the one I'm doing now, is rarely getting commissioned. Because if the sole focus is just, I'm concentrating now. So anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, if the focus is just on the fashion in the illustration, it's rarely getting commissioned, just because most fashion illustration now is used for other things like lifestyle imagery, still lifes, creative animations, things like that. So you got to think like the clothing is one aspect of it, but it's not the whole thing. So where is she? Who is she? Where's the background? What is she doing? All of those things are what the illustrations now focus on. So is she riding a bike through Paris? Is she having a cup of tea in a luxury hotel? Is she in a hot air balloon? Or those are always the ones that I see. Is either the Eiffel Tower's in the background, or for some reason you're in a hot air balloon, and you can see like the London Eye, or you can see the Eiffel Tower, or something like that. But yeah, it's stuff like that that gets commissioned. So basically, you got to start diversifying your portfolio. Got to think more. Who is she? What is she? What is she doing? How? Who? Where? When? Why? That kind of stuff. So harsh truth number 5 is landing a big name client, whilst it is amazing and it's a great achievement and it's obviously a goal to have, it doesn't guarantee you a career. Maybe you'll work with them once, but maybe you'll work with them 10 times. But one client as a freelance fashion illustrator is not enough, no matter who that client is. So the key to a career is to have consistent work coming in from a multitude of clients and income streams, rather than just, the occasional bit of work coming in. So whilst it's good to have dreams of the clients you want to work with and, go after trying to land those clients and things like that, you can't have such a narrow focus. You've also got to think like, who else do I want to work with? What other work can I do? Because yeah, you might work with Dior, but Dior don't need you every day or every week or even every month, unless it's an in-house position, which is something different. So as a freelance fashion illustrator, you need to make sure that you're landing multiple clients and getting a variety of work, because you also need different income streams. So if live events dry up because pandemic, and stuff like that, then you need to be able to be doing editorial work or campaign work, or teach courses or do influencer work or whatever it might be, create content, I don't know. The key to longevity is to have multiple clients and multiple income streams. Pop a bit of lippy on, do the hair. So harsh truth number 5 is posting on Instagram isn't going to get you a career. I'm sorry. It just ain't. Well, actually, sometimes it might, but it's something that I see most people doing, and they're putting all their eggs in one basket, and that's all they focus on is just posting on Instagram. And then when they get frustrated, my post isn't doing very well, or I'm shadow banned, or whatever it might be, that shouldn't be your only focus. It should be one of your focuses. Don't get me wrong. It's a very useful place to be. But it shouldn't be everything. Many people have careers that don't have a lot of Instagram followers. So because they're networking, they're pitching directly to clients, they've got a good website, good SEO, a good portfolio, they put their work out there in other ways. So there's so many other ways to get the work that you want and to get the interest that you want, that just posting on Instagram is never going to be enough, because the chance of maybe you'll get a viral post and get a few jobs from it. Maybe something will happen from that. I would rather spend my time doing something that yields a bit more results. So Instagram is a little bit of my attention, but then my website, my networking, portfolio, everything else is also my focus. Because I said this in my career course, but when you do something like that, instead of Instagram being your only focus, when you start doing Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and you start website pitching, networking, do a good portfolio, do SEO work, stuff like that, Instagram goes from 100% of what you're focusing on to 10%. And when it's only 10%, then when you get sad because your post didn't do as well, or you're losing followers, you're not gaining followers as quick as you want, it's a lot easier to get over, because maybe that post didn't work on Instagram, but maybe it did on TikTok, or maybe my social media did crap this week, but I got an email back from the brand I pitched to. So always good to have multiple things going on. So let's do some flourishes. So that is my 5 harsh truths. They're only based on what I think would be most helpful to hear. I hope they're helpful and you don't cop a strop if you're doing this like blah, 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 blah. But yeah. So the real reason I'm here, obviously you know I'm going to promote something. Like, duh. So yeah, my portfolio bootcamp is open for spots or spaces, whatever you want to call it. So that opened on Thursday. It's already 60% sold, I think. So it's my annual boot camp. Basically, I did it last year and I really loved it. I work on my own portfolio at the same time as you guys work on yours, and each week we tackle a new subject. So we start off with fashion illustration, so we can understand your style and the kind of work you like to create. And then every week from there, so the next week is portraits, week 3 is editorial, week 4 is beauty, week 5 is flowers. You know, we do locations, we do live events, we do still lifes, and this way we create 2 pieces a week and you will have a very varied portfolio at the end of it. But also we're going to keep bringing everything we do back to your initial fashion illustrations, and this is how we keep your style consistent and your portfolio consistent despite tackling all these different topics. And yeah, it's just a load of fun. It's like we meet twice a week on Zoom, so I go over your midweek, we go over your sketches and your ideas for what you want to do. End of the week, we critique the work that you've created, and then we move on to the next thing. Let me make that pointed. But the course starts 11th of August, which I think is next Monday. So there's a few days left to grab your spot. So yeah, I think there's only 4 spaces left. And it was rated 10 out of 10 by everyone that took it last year, which is really, I'm quite proud of that, really, quite proud of it. And yeah, just this way you'll end up with a portfolio that is best suited for getting you the most types of work. So you'll be able to then maybe go for editorial work, publications, campaign work, live event work, you know, all these kind of different things that will give you a better opportunity to get paid work in, really. So now I'm gonna go ham on this. And if you wonder, the glove is because of this. This is for RSI, and you wonder why I got to wear it. But I like my sparkles. Okay, that's done. Oh wait, no, I want a bit of texture. A bit of this. And then I didn't do my circles. Got this one, maybe this one. And yeah, so that's it. That's my harsh truths for fashion illustrators, portfolio bootcamp. And it's only open once a year, so it's either now or next August. So yeah, I'll put the link in the description. Another video is coming out on another day. I don't know when. It'll be sometime later this week. And that is about art style, which should be fun if I ever get around to writing it. And that's it. So thanks for watching. See you later.